Section 76(2) is ambiguous and contrary to rules of drafting. Section 76(1) says functions of the Sultanate Council. And now Section 76(2) is saying power to appoint. I want to use this opportunity to clarify that. In Nigeria as a federation, being under the Constitution, there are 3 sets of power. The legislative powers under Section 4 of the Constitution, executive powers under Section 5 of the Constitution, and judicial powers under Section 6 of the Constitution. Power to appoint is an executive power. It's not a legislative power. And it is not a judicial power. Then who exercises executive power? In a state, that is Section 5, subsection 2 of the Constitution, provides that the contention here, or the drafting error here that we highlighted earlier, is that it is only the governor that exercises executive powers of the state, directly or through the deputy governor, or commissioners, or officers in the public service of the state. It could be observed that the law made by this power cannot be exercised by non-executive institutions. Which are the executive institutions? The governor, the deputy governor, commissioners, and officers of the public service. So this power, going by the provisions of the Constitution, can only be exercised by the executive institutions, but cannot be exercised by institutions that are not executive institutions. So to grant the power to appoint a Sultanate Council is inconsistent with the provisions of this section. So to give the Sultanate Council the power to make appointment is contrary to the provisions of this section. That is why it is now presented to this honorable House to amend this section, to revert back to the tradition or to age-long practice where the Sultanate Council recommends to the governor persons to be appointed at district heads, persons to be appointed as village heads, and persons to be appointed as salaried members of the Sultanate Council for appointment, but not the other way around. In the proposed amendment, the Sultanate Council, as in Section 76(1), will retain its function to recommend to the governor, while the power to appoint will now remain with the governor for appointment subsequent upon the recommendation from the Sultanate Council. That is the essence of this proposal for the amendment of this very section. It has to be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. Which section? The section that gives the governor the power to exercise executive powers of a state. Through the deputy governor, commissioners, and public officers, but not to a non-executive institution as the Sultanate Council.
The bill intends to amend the Sokoto State Local Government Law of 2008 to address the general administration of the local government council and traditional institution in the state. Therefore, consideration of importance and the benefit of the bill, the House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs consider you and your organization as relevant to this bill and decide to invite you for this important public hearing in order to give your own positive view and the meaningful contribution for the successful passage of the bill.
The Sultanate Council is the custodian of our history and cultural heritage. Therefore, our submission or our position on this bill is that we are not supporting it, and we condemn it, and we are with the majority of Nigerians in this regard, because Sultanate Council is beyond Sokoto State. All the well-meaning Nigerians, including Southerners, including non-Muslims, are not in support of this bill. Therefore, we come here in solidarity with the Sultanate Council. And if before this bill, I don't know that it is the governor, not the Sultan, that has the power to appoint and sack the district heads. Therefore, we are opposing this bill in its entirety, and we are calling on all the well-meaning Nigerians to disregard it. And we are calling on the Sokoto State House Assembly to, as a matter of urgent public importance, to discard this bill in the interest of peace and harmony of Sokoto State and Nigeria at large.
My main interest is on the sections that affect the Sultanate Council, section 75 and 76. That the amendment affects about the derogation of the powers of the Sultanate Council in appointing district heads and village heads. Our submission together with other sister organizations is we categorically oppose that bill, or that amendment bill, because anything that whittles down or dilutes the power of the Sultanate Council, we think is inimical to the current stride that has been made to improve and entrenching the role of traditional leaders in governance, in peace, and other matters of development. So we are calling on the Sokoto State government and also the State Assembly to please set aside that bill, particularly those sections. Because if anything, the Sultanate Council should be strengthened more to discharge their age-long duty of peace, social stability, economic development, and operationalization of government policies.